Let me begin with a question. When was the last time you thought of macadamia nuts as more than just a treat? For many people, they're simply a decadent snack, something to enjoy in cookies or on special occasions. But what if I told you that inside that creamy, buttery nut lies one of the most powerful natural tools we have for protecting the body from age-related damage, including cancer? As a doctor who's spent over 2 decades helping patients fight disease and strengthen their bodies, I've learned this simple truth: it's often the most overlooked foods that deliver the biggest benefits. And macadamia seeds are a perfect example. Beneath their thick, rock-hard shell, nature's own security system, is a nut that's been quietly studied for its extraordinary nutrient profile. One of its greatest strengths lies in its fat content. Now, I know what you might be thinking: fat? Isn't that something I should avoid? But here's the key: not all fats are created equal. Macadamia seeds are made up of about 75% monounsaturated fats, the same heart-healthy fats found in olive oil. These fats are anti-inflammatory, they stabilize cell membranes, and they help protect the body against oxidative stress, one of the root causes of cancer. Let me explain why that's important. Oxidative stress is like rust forming inside your body. It happens when unstable molecules called free radicals bounce around, damaging your cells, your DNA, and your tissues. Over time, this damage accumulates and creates the perfect environment for cancer cells to grow. The antioxidants and healthy fats in macadamia nuts act like fire extinguishers, putting out that internal rust before it spreads. It's preventative medicine, simple, natural, and effective. But there's more. Just a small daily serving of macadamia, around 28 grams, or roughly 10 to 12 whole nuts, provides your body with about 1.5 milligrams of manganese, a trace mineral that plays a crucial role in activating antioxidant enzymes inside your cells. Think of manganese as the spark that powers your body's internal defense system. Without it, your natural ability to neutralize cancer-causing agents weakens. With it, your cells become stronger, more resilient, and better able to repair damage before it becomes dangerous. But the benefits of macadamia seeds go even further. They're also rich in phytosterols, plant-based compounds that have shown the ability to slow the growth and spread of cancer cells, particularly in the breast and prostate. For adults over 50, this becomes even more critical. As we age, our immune surveillance begins to slow down. That means our bodies are not as quick to detect and destroy abnormal cells before they take hold. This is where foods like macadamia become more than just nourishment. They become protection. Now, let's talk about the real-world application. How do you bring macadamia seeds into your life in a meaningful, consistent way? The answer is, start small, and be intentional. You don't need to eat a whole bag. A small portion, 10 to 12 nuts, is enough to support your health. Try sprinkling crushed macadamias over your oatmeal in the morning. Blend them into a smoothie for creaminess. Toss them into a salad for a satisfying crunch. Or simply enjoy a few as a midday snack that's both nourishing and satiating. Unlike sugary snacks or ultra-processed chips, macadamias promote satiety, meaning they help you feel full, so you're less likely to overeat later. And because they're nutrient-dense, every bite contributes to your overall resilience. For those concerned about weight gain, don't worry. When eaten in controlled portions and as part of a whole food-based diet, the fats in macadamia actually support a healthy metabolism. They don't act like the empty calories found in processed foods. Instead, they fuel your brain, stabilize your energy, and reduce cravings for junk. Here's another reason I love recommending macadamia seeds to my older patients: they're gentle on digestion. As long as you chew them well or blend them into smoothies, they're unlikely to cause discomfort, even in those with sensitive stomachs. So let me ask you, have you been using macadamia seeds wisely in your daily meals? Sometimes the path to better health doesn't require drastic diets or expensive supplements. It just asks us to look a little closer at the natural gifts we've been given. Gifts like this humble seed, tough on the outside, healing on the inside. In my 20 years of medical practice, I've witnessed patients transform their health simply by changing what they put on their plates. Not overnight. Not with magic pills. But steadily. Intentionally. Naturally. And macadamia seeds? They're a powerful step in that journey. Add them to your routine. Protect your cells. Defend your future. And give your body the nourishment it needs to keep thriving, no matter your age. Let me take you back to a summer afternoon. Maybe you were gathered with your family, kids running barefoot in the yard, everyone sharing slices of cold, juicy watermelon. Do you remember the seeds? Those little black or red seeds that we used to spit out, or maybe roast for fun? For many of us, they're just a memory from childhood, something playful, maybe even something to throw away. But hidden inside those humble seeds is a secret that modern nutrition science is finally starting to understand. Watermelon seeds, especially the red-hued variety, carry a rich concentration of nutrients that can help our bodies defend against cancer, promote cellular health, and support the immune system, particularly as we grow older. Let me explain why. These seeds are loaded with lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that's more commonly associated with ripe tomatoes. But here's the surprising part, just 100 grams of red watermelon seeds can contain up to 75 milligrams of lycopene, that's almost 3 times more than what you'd get from the same weight in tomatoes. Now, why is that important? Lycopene acts like a bodyguard for your cells. It neutralizes unstable molecules called free radicals, the ones that chip away at healthy cells and quietly set the stage for inflammation, DNA damage, and eventually, cancer. If oxidative stress is the fire, lycopene is the water hose, it douses the damage before it has a chance to spread. And that's just the beginning. Around 38% of the fat content in watermelon seeds comes from linoleic acid, an essential omega-6 fatty acid that your body cannot produce on its own. Linoleic acid is crucial for cell membrane integrity and immune function, helping your body to stay balanced and resilient. In other words, it doesn't just defend, it strengthens. Now, let's consider aging. As we get older, our natural immune response slows down. That means we're more vulnerable to chronic inflammation, more likely to develop irregular cells, and less efficient at cellular repair. But nutrients like magnesium, zinc, and vitamin E, all found in watermelon seeds, can help reverse that decline. Magnesium helps regulate more than 300 biochemical reactions in the body, including DNA synthesis and energy production. Zinc plays a direct role in immune defense and cellular repair. Vitamin E works as an antioxidant and protects our DNA from mutations. Together, they act like a support team for your cells, each one playing a different but critical role. What I find especially powerful about watermelon seeds is this: they're not just about nutrition, they're about connection. In many cultures, especially in Asia, these seeds are more than just food. They're part of rituals, holidays, family gatherings. They carry emotional significance, symbolizing good fortune, vitality, and celebration. And I believe that matters. Because wellness isn't just physical, it's emotional. When you nourish your body with foods that also nourish your memories, your history, your identity, you're healing on more than one level. That's the kind of healing that lasts. But how do you make watermelon seeds part of your daily life, especially if you've never considered them more than a novelty? Here's how to do it safely and effectively. Start by choosing the right type. Look for naturally roasted red watermelon seeds that are free of artificial coloring, preservatives, and excess salt. Many packaged varieties are heavily salted or processed with flavorings that can be harmful, especially for seniors who need to protect their kidney and liver function. If you prefer to prepare them yourself, it's easy. Soak the seeds in warm water for a couple of hours. This softens the outer layer, improves digestibility, and makes the nutrients more bioavailable. After that, toast them lightly in a dry pan over medium heat to bring out their aroma and deepen the flavor. The result is a delicious, slightly nutty snack that's both healing and satisfying. For those with sensitive digestion, try grinding them into a fine powder. This makes them easier to absorb and can be stirred into smoothies, oatmeal, or even warm milk. Some people even make plant-based milk from ground watermelon seeds blended with water, a great option if you have lactose intolerance or prefer non-dairy alternatives. And what about quantity? A good serving size is about 15 to 20 grams a day, roughly a small handful. Because these seeds are nutrient-dense, more is not necessarily better. In large amounts, they could cause bloating or mild changes in cholesterol levels. But in moderation, they're a powerful, balanced addition to your daily routine. And that's the beauty of it. These seeds are small, affordable, and accessible, yet they deliver real impact. You don't need to overhaul your entire lifestyle to feel the difference. Just a small handful, once a day, is enough to support cellular integrity, reduce cancer risk, and help your body feel stronger, calmer, and better protected. Sometimes we search for complicated answers in health. We chase expensive supplements, treatments, or trends. But often, the answer is right in front of us, simple, traditional, and deeply human. So, the next time you see a watermelon, don't throw away the seeds. See them for what they really are, a link between the wisdom of the past and the wellness of the future. And in your own quiet way, just by eating them, you're honoring both. Let me ask you something. When you walk through the grocery store, how often do you stop to notice the simple grains tucked away on the lower shelves? In today's fast-paced, image-driven world, we're constantly drawn to the flashy, the exotic, the new. But in doing so, we often overlook some of the most powerful foods nature has given us. Millet is one of those quiet powerhouses, modest in appearance, yet deeply nourishing in its effect. I've seen this happen again and again in my years of medical practice. People change their lives not with expensive pills, but with humble foods, when they learn how to use them with care and purpose. So, let's take a closer look at millet. Millet is an ancient grain, a staple in many parts of Asia and Africa for thousands of years. It doesn't look like much. It's small, pale, and often overshadowed by trendier grains like quinoa or chia. But what it lacks in glamour, it makes up for in pure, protective nutrition. In just 100 grams of millet, you'll find around 120 milligrams of polyphenol, plant-based antioxidants that play a critical role in protecting your cells from oxidative damage. If you've been following this series, you'll notice a theme: the importance of oxidative stress. It's the silent process by which your cells are slowly worn down, bit, by unstable molecules called free radicals. Left unchecked, that damage accumulates, opening the door for chronic inflammation, aging, and yes, cancer. But polyphenol work like cellular guardians. They neutralize free radicals, repair minor DNA breaks, and help regulate the growth and death of cells. This regulation is key, because cancer often begins when that natural balance is lost, and cells grow out of control. What's especially exciting is that recent studies show a link between millet consumption and lower risk of breast and colon cancer, two of the most common and devastating cancers that affect older adults. These findings support what traditional cultures have known for generations: millet protects, fortifies, and heals. But the benefits of millet don't stop with antioxidants. This tiny grain is also a rich source of magnesium, providing approximately 114 milligrams per 100 gram serving. That's significant. Magnesium is often underestimated, but it's absolutely essential, especially as we age. Why? Because magnesium helps relax blood vessels, reducing strain on the heart. Improve circulation to vital organs. Regulate blood pressure naturally. Support strong muscle and nerve function. Reduce anxiety and calm the nervous system. In short, magnesium supports both your heart and your mind, a rare combination in a single food. For many seniors, maintaining cardiovascular health is a top concern. Millet offers a natural, safe, and accessible way to do that, without medication, side effects, or complications. It's not meant to replace your treatment plan, but it can absolutely support and enhance it. And here's what I love most about millet: it's incredibly easy to use. You don't need fancy recipes or exotic ingredients. A simple 2 to 3 tablespoons of cooked millet a day can go a long way. Try adding it to your soups or stews for a hearty texture. Stir it into your morning porridge for extra fiber and minerals. Or use it as a healthy substitute for white rice in grain bowls, stir-fries, or salads. Its neutral flavor makes it a perfect base for both sweet and savory dishes. And because it's naturally gluten-free, millet is gentle on the stomach and safe for those with gluten sensitivities or celiac disease. Let me give you a quick example from one of my patients. Susan, a 67-year-old retired schoolteacher, came to me a few years ago after being diagnosed with prediabetes and struggling with fatigue. She was overwhelmed by the idea of changing her whole diet. But we started small, with just one bowl of millet porridge in the morning. Over the course of 6 months, that one habit expanded. She had more energy. Her blood sugar stabilized. And she felt empowered again, not by a new drug, but by a 2,000-year-old grain that cost just a few cents per serving. That's the kind of transformation I've seen happen, again and again, when people return to what I call foundation foods. Foods that don't just fill you up, but that actually support your body at the cellular level. Millet is one of those foods. It offers cancer-fighting antioxidants, magnesium for heart and nerve health, fiber for digestive support, protein for muscle maintenance, easy digestibility for aging bodies. And yet, it remains one of the most underrated foods in the Western world. But you can change that, for yourself, for your family, for the generations that come after you. Because wellness isn't about following trends. It's about reclaiming your health with intention. So, the next time you pass by millet in the store, don't dismiss it. Don't let its plain appearance fool you. That tiny seed holds ancient power. And with each spoonful, you're giving your body the nourishment it needs to fight disease, age gracefully, and thrive, naturally, gently, and effectively. Think back to the last time you sprinkled sesame seeds on a salad, or saw them baked into a piece of bread, or tasted the creamy richness of tahini in a dish. To most people, sesame seeds are nothing more than a garnish, an afterthought for texture or flavor. But behind those tiny, nutty-tasting seeds is one of nature's most potent sources of cancer-fighting nutrients, especially important for those of us entering the later stages of life. As a doctor with over 20 years in preventive medicine, I've seen time and again how the smallest, simplest foods can create the greatest impact. Sesame seeds are one of those foods. They're not just delicious, they're therapeutic. Let's explore why. Sesame seeds have been used in cooking and medicine for over 5,000 years, from the Middle East to Asia. Ancient civilizations knew what modern science is only now confirming: these seeds carry unique plant compounds with extraordinary benefits. At the heart of sesame's cancer-fighting power are two antioxidants, sesamin and sesamol. Unlike common antioxidants like vitamin C or E, these two are almost exclusive to sesame seeds, and they work in a very specific way, by helping block the development and spread of cancer cells. Research, including a study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food, has shown that these compounds can slow the progression of cancer, especially in the colon and breast, two high-risk areas for older adults. How do they do this? First, they help inhibit angiogenesis. That's the process by which tumors create new blood vessels to feed themselves. Without those vessels, the tumors can't grow. Second, sesamin and sesamol help protect your DNA from oxidative damage, stopping cancer before it starts. Now, here's something even more impressive. Just 100 grams of whole sesame seeds contain about 975 milligrams of calcium. Yes, nearly a full gram of calcium in a food that fits in the palm of your hand. That's more calcium than the same weight of cow's milk. Why does this matter? Because as we age, bone density declines. Especially for women over 50, the risk of osteoporosis rises sharply. Fractures from weak bones can lead to long hospital stays, reduced independence, and even increased mortality. So by including sesame in your diet, you're not only protecting your cells from cancer, you're also protecting your bones from breakage. And the benefits don't end there. Sesame seeds are also rich in magnesium, about 351 milligrams per 100 grams. That's more than you'll find in most multivitamins. Magnesium plays a key role in regulating blood pressure, promoting healthy circulation, strengthening muscles and nerves. All of these are essential areas of support for older adults. So, how do you take advantage of sesame seeds without overcomplicating your meals? It's easy. You don't need large amounts. In fact, a small daily dose of 10 to 20 grams, just 1 to 2 tablespoons, is enough to make a meaningful difference. Here are a few ideas. Stir a spoonful into your morning oatmeal or yogurt. Blend it into smoothies for a gentle nutty taste. Use it as a crust for baked fish or chicken. Sprinkle it over stir-fries or roasted vegetables. Add tahini to dressings, sauces, or dips for rich flavor and extra nutrition. If you're someone who doesn't like chewing whole seeds, or if you have dental concerns, sesame can also be ground into a paste. Tahini, the sesame seed butter common in Mediterranean cuisine, offers all the same benefits in a smooth, digestible form. One tip: choose unhulled sesame seeds if you want the highest calcium content. Hulled seeds, the white, polished kind, are easier to digest, but they lose some of their nutritional density in the process. So if you're comfortable digesting seeds, unhulled is the way to go. And if you're concerned about digestion or absorption, lightly toasting the seeds can enhance flavor and make the nutrients more bioavailable. Just don't burn them. Too much heat can destroy the delicate oils and phytochemicals you want to preserve. Here's something I often tell my patients: there's strength in consistency. You don't need a dramatic diet overhaul. You don't have to chase miracle cures. But when you build your meals around protective, natural foods, like sesame, you slowly change your risk profile. You reduce inflammation. You improve cellular repair. And over time, you create a body that's harder for disease to take root in. Think of sesame seeds as more than food. They're a daily ritual of protection. A small act of prevention that you can do every morning, every lunch, every dinner, without stress, without effort, without fear. The beauty of sesame is in its simplicity. It doesn't ask for much. Just a spoonful here, a sprinkle there. And in return, it gives you bone strength, blood balance, and cellular protection, 3 pillars of healthy aging. So the next time you reach into your pantry, don't overlook the sesame. Because in those tiny, unassuming seeds lies a message that's been whispered through centuries of healing traditions. Small things can protect great things. Your bones. Your blood. Your life. Let's talk about a nut that many of us have grown up with. Maybe you keep a jar of them on your kitchen counter. Maybe you add them to your oatmeal. Or maybe you grab a handful when you're hungry between meals. But what if I told you that those almonds you've been snacking on are far more than just a source of crunch or flavor? That they are, in fact, one of the most powerful cancer-fighting foods available to you, especially as you age. In my 20 years of clinical practice, I've seen what happens when people stop viewing food as fuel and start seeing it as a form of daily medicine. Almonds represent that shift perfectly. They are gentle, nourishing, deeply healing, and backed by science. Let's explore how. The first thing you need to know is that almonds are rich in vitamin E, about 25 milligrams per 100 grams. That's a powerful dose of one of the body's most essential antioxidants. Vitamin E works by neutralizing free radicals, those unstable molecules that quietly damage your cells, your DNA, and your immune system over time. Think of free radicals like sparks in a dry forest. Left alone, they can ignite inflammation, mutate healthy cells, and eventually create the perfect conditions for cancer to grow. But vitamin E? That's your fire extinguisher. It doesn't just block the sparks, it cools the entire environment inside your body. That's the first line of defense. But almonds offer so much more. They're loaded with polyphenol and flavonoids, 2 classes of plant compounds that go one step further. These compounds have been shown in research to slow down the multiplication of cancer cells, particularly in 3 high-risk areas: the breast, the colon, and the prostate. These aren't abstract findings. These are real, measurable effects that come from consistent, moderate consumption of almonds. Just a small handful a day, about 20 to 30 grams, can make a difference. And the benefits continue. Let's talk about magnesium. Almonds provide around 270 milligrams of magnesium per 100 grams, an essential mineral that many people are unknowingly deficient in, especially older adults. Magnesium helps regulate the nervous system. It keeps your emotional responses steady. It reduces chronic stress. And it strengthens your immune defense. Why is that important? Because chronic stress doesn't just make you feel bad, it creates internal inflammation, weakens your immune response, and makes your body more vulnerable to disease. When your immune system is calm and strong, it does a better job identifying and eliminating abnormal cells before they become dangerous. That's what almonds support, a more alert, resilient, balanced immune system. Now let's pause for a moment and talk about how to eat them. Not all almonds are created equal. If you're eating them raw, that's a great start. But for many people, especially seniors with sensitive digestion, raw almonds can be a little tough on the stomach. They contain something called phytic acid, a naturally occurring compound that can block the absorption of certain minerals like calcium, zinc, and iron. But here's the fix: soak your almonds. Soaking almonds in water for 6 to 8 hours softens the nut, makes it easier to chew, and reduces phytic acid, unlocking more of the nutrients inside. Once soaked, they become creamier, gentler on digestion, and more bioavailable to your body. You can store soaked almonds in the refrigerator and enjoy them as a snack, blend them into smoothies, or chop them up for salads and oatmeal. What about almond butter? Yes, it also carries many of the same benefits. Just be sure to choose unsweetened, minimally processed versions, without added sugar or hydrogenated oils. And let's talk about portion control. Yes, almonds are healthy, but they are calorie-dense. Going overboard can lead to unwanted weight gain. That's why I recommend 20 to 30 grams a day, about a small handful. More than enough to get the benefits, without tipping the scale. Now here's a story I'll never forget. Years ago, I had a patient named Robert. He was in his early 70s, a retired engineer, always sharp and disciplined. But he was struggling with high cholesterol, mild depression, and felt fatigued all the time. We made some simple changes to his routine, swapped processed snacks for almonds, added soaked almonds to his breakfast, and cut out the refined carbs in the afternoon. 3 months later, his cholesterol had improved. His energy was back. But most importantly, he told me he felt in control again, something many seniors quietly lose as their bodies start to change. That's the power of simple, smart food choices. With almonds, you're not just eating a nut. You're eating a source of protection, a regulator of mood, a builder of strength, and a guardian of your long-term health. They support antioxidant defense, cancer cell regulation, emotional stability, immune function, heart and bone health. And they do it without medication, without side effects, and without stress. So the next time you reach for a snack, ask yourself, is it healing you, or just filling you? If you choose almonds, you're choosing a food that your body will recognize, absorb, and use, day after day, year after year. Because sometimes, the most powerful medicine comes not from the pharmacy, but from the palm of your hand. Sometimes, the most powerful healing tools are the ones we throw away. Take pumpkin seeds, for example. How many times have you scooped them out during the holidays and tossed them in the trash without a second thought? But what if I told you those discarded seeds hold some of the most potent cancer-fighting nutrients your body could ask for? In my practice, I often remind patients that nature doesn't waste anything. Every part of the plant has a purpose, and pumpkin seeds are no exception. For older adults looking to protect their health in natural, sustainable ways, these seeds are a treasure. Let's start with one of their most important components, zinc. Pumpkin seeds are one of the richest natural sources of zinc, with around 7 milligrams per 100 grams. Zinc plays a critical role in immune health. It supports the cells responsible for detecting and destroying cancerous threats before they take hold. But the connection between zinc and cancer prevention goes deeper. Zinc also supports cellular repair and DNA replication. Without adequate zinc, your body struggles to maintain healthy cell turnover, and abnormal cells can begin to replicate unchecked. This is particularly significant when it comes to prostate health, a major concern for men over the age of 50. Zinc helps protect prostate tissues by regulating inflammation and supporting hormonal balance. That's why pumpkin seeds are often recommended as part of a natural approach to lowering the risk of prostate cancer. But zinc isn't acting alone. Pumpkin seeds also contain a potent trio of nutrients. Magnesium supports cellular energy production and regulates cell growth. Manganese activates antioxidant enzymes that protect against free radical damage. Vitamin E neutralizes oxidative stress, a key factor in cancer development. Together, these nutrients form a kind of nutritional firewall, reinforcing your body's defense mechanisms on multiple levels. Another unique benefit of pumpkin seeds? They're rich in phytosterols. Phytosterols are plant-based compounds that mimic cholesterol and interfere with its absorption in the digestive tract. This not only helps reduce LDL cholesterol levels, protecting your heart, but also provides an indirect anti-cancer effect. Research suggests that phytosterols may help inhibit the growth of cancer cells, particularly in colon and breast tissues. They do this by disrupting abnormal cell replication and encouraging healthy cell turnover, a process your body becomes less efficient at as you age. So, how do you take full advantage of this powerhouse food? Let's start with serving size. About 30 grams a day, a small handful, is enough to provide a meaningful dose of zinc, magnesium, and phytosterols. That's all it takes to give your immune system, hormones, and detox pathways a noticeable boost. Now, let's talk preparation. You'll find pumpkin seeds in several forms: raw, roasted, salted, seasoned. But here's what you need to know: raw or lightly toasted seeds are the best choice. High heat destroys vitamin E and reduces the effectiveness of sensitive plant compounds. If you toast them at home, do so at a low temperature, around 150 to 160 degrees Celsius, 300 to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, for no more than 8 to 10 minutes. This enhances flavor without degrading their nutrients. You can also grind the seeds into a powder if you have digestive concerns. Many older adults find whole seeds a bit tough on the stomach. Grinding them makes the nutrients easier to absorb and opens the door for creative use in recipes. Try blending ground pumpkin seeds into smoothies, soups and stews, homemade energy bars. Sprinkle over yogurt or porridge. They add a subtle nutty flavor and a dense nutritional kick. Another tip? Pair pumpkin seeds with vitamin C-rich foods like lemon, oranges, or berries. Vitamin C helps increase iron absorption, making this combination ideal for vegetarians or anyone looking to maintain optimal blood health. Now, you might be wondering, can a food so simple really make that much of a difference? Here's a story to answer that. One of my patients, Marjorie, came to see me in her early 60s. She was feeling sluggish, her lab results showed borderline iron and magnesium deficiency, and her digestion was becoming more sensitive with age. Instead of reaching straight for supplements, we started by adjusting her food. One of the first things I recommended was adding 2 tablespoons of ground pumpkin seeds into her morning smoothie, along with a squeeze of lemon. 6 weeks later, she returned with more energy, improved labs, and better digestion. But more than anything, she felt empowered, because her healing came from something she could do herself, every day, from her own kitchen. That's what I want you to take from this. Pumpkin seeds aren't magic. They're not a cure. But they are a tool, a safe, affordable, nutrient-dense tool you can use to build a stronger body from the inside out. And in the context of cancer prevention, those small tools matter. Every cell you protect, every source of inflammation you reduce, every defense you strengthen, it all adds up over time. So don't throw them away. Don't overlook them. Those little green seeds that so often end up in the trash? They might just be one of your best allies in the fight to age gracefully, fight disease naturally, and stay vibrant for years to come. By now, we've explored 6 powerful seeds, each one loaded with nutrients, antioxidants, and cancer-fighting compounds. But there's one more step you need. Because here's the truth, you can eat all the right foods and still miss out on their benefits, if your body can't absorb them properly. In my practice, I've met many people who were eating healthy, natural diets but still struggling with fatigue, low immunity, or poor lab results. Why? Because nutrient absorption was the missing link. So in this final section, let me show you how to make sure the seeds you eat actually deliver their healing potential. 1. Light roasting for better digestion. First, let's talk about heat. Some people eat seeds raw, thinking it's the purest form. And while raw seeds do retain all their original nutrients, they also contain anti-nutrients like phytic acid and oxalates, compounds that can block the absorption of iron, calcium, zinc, and magnesium. That's why light roasting is often a better option. By roasting your seeds at a low temperature, around 150 to 160 degrees Celsius, 300 to 325 degrees Fahrenheit, for 8 to 10 minutes, you reduce anti-nutrients while still preserving most of the beneficial compounds. Don't overdo it. High temperatures destroy vitamin E, omega-3 fats, and delicate phytochemicals. Roasting also enhances flavor, making your seeds more satisfying and easier to digest, especially important for older adults whose stomach acid and digestive enzyme levels are lower than in youth. 2. Soaking to unlock nutrients. Another powerful method? Soaking. By soaking seeds, especially almonds and sesame, for several hours, you activate natural enzymes that break down tough outer layers. This makes them softer, easier to chew, and significantly easier to digest. Soaked seeds are also less irritating to the gut lining, which is critical if you're dealing with bloating, gas, or inflammatory conditions like IBS. As a general rule, soak almonds for 6 to 8 hours. Soak sesame and pumpkin seeds for 2 to 4 hours. After soaking, you can enjoy them directly, blend into smoothies, or dry roast lightly to enhance texture and flavor. 3. Grinding for better absorption. Let's face it, our digestion slows down as we age. Many people over 60 find it hard to break down whole seeds, especially tougher ones like flax, pumpkin, or watermelon seeds. That's where grinding comes in. When you grind seeds in a mortar, blender, or coffee grinder, you crack open the shell and expose the inner nutrients, making them more available to your digestive system. Ground seeds can be added to oatmeal or porridge, smoothies, yogurt, homemade energy bars, soups and stews. Just be sure to grind only what you'll use within a few days. Once ground, seeds can oxidize quickly and lose their nutrient potency. 4. Pairing with vitamin C for maximum mineral absorption. Here's a simple, science-backed tip that almost nobody uses. Eat your seeds with a source of vitamin C. Why? Because vitamin C significantly increases the absorption of plant-based iron, a mineral that's crucial for energy, immunity, and oxygen delivery to your cells. Iron from plant foods, called non-heme iron, is harder for your body to absorb, especially for seniors. But when combined with vitamin C, the absorption rate can double or even triple. Try these combinations. Sprinkle pumpkin seeds on a spinach salad with lemon vinaigrette. Add ground watermelon seeds to a smoothie with oranges or kiwi. Pair millet porridge with fresh strawberries or mango in the morning. These simple adjustments turn healthy food into functional, therapeutic nourishment. 5. Watch out for overconsumption. Here's something important to remember: more isn't always better. Seeds are incredibly nutrient-dense. That means they pack a lot of calories, fats, and minerals into a small space. If you eat too much, you may experience bloating, loose stools, mild increases in cholesterol, especially with overconsumed omega-6 oils, unwanted weight gain. Stick to 15 to 30 grams per day, per seed type. That's about 1 to 2 tablespoons, or a small handful. Rotate between different seeds throughout the week to get a variety of nutrients without overloading your digestive system. 6. Create easy, daily routines. Healing happens through consistency, not intensity. You don't need to turn your kitchen into a science lab. Just create simple rituals. Keep a jar of mixed, lightly roasted seeds ready for sprinkling. Add ground seeds to one meal a day. Breakfast is often the easiest. Make a batch of homemade energy bars once a week. Here's a quick recipe I recommend to many of my patients. Homemade seed energy bars. 50 grams of pumpkin seeds. 30 grams of ground sesame seeds. 2 tablespoons of peanut butter or raw honey. A handful of oats. Optional, cocoa powder, cinnamon, or turmeric. Mix everything together. Press into a pan. Chill for 30 minutes. Cut into bars and store in the fridge. It's quick. It's delicious. And it's deeply nourishing. Final thoughts. Every seed we've discussed, macadamia, watermelon, millet, sesame, almond, and pumpkin, is a gift. A compact bundle of energy, healing, and natural defense. But your body can only use what it can access. That's why preparation matters. That's why understanding absorption matters. And that's why I believe knowledge, paired with small, practical action, is the most powerful medicine we have. Start today with just one change. Soak. Toast. Grind. Pair with vitamin C. Choose one step, and make it yours. Your cells will thank you. Your energy will rise. And your confidence in your body's ability to heal will grow stronger, one seed, one spoonful, one choice at a time. Lou. You've just learned about 6 seeds, 6. And perhaps, most importantly, you've learned that in my 20 years of working with patients from all walks of life, I've come to understand something deeply. Most people don't need a miracle. They need a startin'. AW. These seeds? T. Let's quickly revisit what each of them brings to the table. Macadamia SE, rich in watermelon seed, packed with lycopene, zinc, and millet, a humble grain. Sesame, of almonds, a source of vitamin E, polyphenol, and stress-reducing magnesium to strengthen immune function and regulate emotional balance. Pumpkin seeds, full of zinc, vitamin E, and phytosterols to repair DNA, protect the prostate, and lower systemic inflammation. Each seed plays a different role, but together, they form a protective network that your body can rely on. And here's the most important message I want you to take with you. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Start with one seed. One recipe. One ritual. Maybe you add a tablespoon of sesame to your morning oats. Or blend soaked almonds into a smoothie. Maybe you toast pumpkin seeds on Sunday and keep them in a jar for easy snacking all week. Whatever it is, make it yours. And make it sustainable. Because the truth is, you are not powerless. Your body, yes, even as it ages, still wants to heal. Still wants to protect you. Still responds to the nourishment you give it. And the foods that help you age well? They don't need to be fancy. They don't need to come in a bottle. They just need to be intentional. This isn't just about fighting cancer. This is about living fully, with energy, clarity, and confidence. It's about choosing foods that align with your values. Foods that are as real as you are. That support your strength, your independence, and your future. So here's my challenge to you. Go to your pantry. Pick one of these seeds. And tomorrow, make it part of your day. Then do it again the next day. And again the next. Let your health build, not with pressure or perfection, but with quiet, deliberate care. Because when we nourish ourselves with intention, we don't just extend our lives. We enrich them. 1. Thank you.